What's up, everybody? It's been a day since I've been here, and guess what? We have a strain that I have never tried before. And when I just looked up the crosses on it, it made me fucking jacked. I was not excited to try it because I'm thinking sweet apple crumble Verano. I thought it was just probably just some rename because Verano does a lot of renaming. And if you guys don't know this brand, it's called Savvy Uncensored. It's Verano's like you know how Cresco has high supply and this Verano has Savvy. And then there's also another Savvy breakdown brand called Savvy Uncensored, which is what they call it is Savvy Uncensored is because it's supposedly the lowest. It says Savvy Uncensored Untrimmed. It's supposed to be untrimmed, but from my experience, I've once bought the gelato. In my opinion, gelato by Verano is one of the best gelatos in Illinois. However, and I got it in the Savvy brand, and it was really good. I've reviewed it in the past. If you all want to look it up, and if you don't want to hear my mouth, I get it. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of close-ups of the bud because we're gonna go in on the crosses of this and everything. We're gonna even do a story time today. I bought my old school weed smoking days, so let's go in on this. It's full disclosure. It is a sample. It's a cross between Triple Kush. This is what's getting me excited. It's a cross between Triple Kush and Sour Apple. And if you guys don't know what Triple Kush is an OG Kush crescendo. So what's a crescendo is a three-way. So what they did was they took an OG Kush from the west coast of California, an OG Kush in New York, and an OG Kush in Texas. And some people call it Triangle Kush. They also call it Triple Kush. And Triple Kush crossed with sour apple. I don't really know too much about sour apple. I believe it's an apple fritter. Anyway, let's see how fresh this was. It was packaged on 10/19, harvested on 9/7. So it was literally packaged. Today's Halloween. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. So it was literally packaged 12 days ago. This shit is fresh. We've been getting some really, really fresh samples at work. Anyway, enough of my mouth. Let's bust into this sweet apple crumble pie. Sweet apple crumble pie is what it's called. And it's testing at 22.4 total cannabinoids. Let's see what's fucking to it. And if you buy weed anywhere and are not subscribed, I do a brand new strain review literally every fucking day, if not every other day. And let me waste my money before you waste yours, especially if you live in Illinois. Use me as a tool. And we have a pretty cool squad here, and everybody's here to help each other. Anyway, sweet apple crumble pie certified smoker. Don't let me down, Verano, Savvy, Uncensored. Let's see what's to. Wow, I smell it. I hope that OG Kush really comes out on this. That's what's got me most excited is that triple OG. I hope the OG. I really smell the gassiness and the skunkiness from the OG already. I hope the looks are good on this. Okay, it's trimmed really well, and it's supposed to be Savvy, Uncensored, Untrimmed. In my opinion, the reason why they call it untrimmed is because Verano wants people to buy their brand at a higher price than they want that rather than people buying this. Like, why would they advertise it as untrimmed? It's really, really good. It's really got a nice bud structure. They're rock hard. Doesn't seem like it's got it's definitely trimmed. Look at this. They call it Savvy, Uncensored, Untrimmed. Look at the looks on this. It's pretty damn pretty looking. Really, really nice. Literally no leaf on it. And this is supposed to be Savvy, Uncensored, Untrimmed. Yeah, I think it's Verano's way of just saying, hey, just buy our brand because we charge 10 more bucks an eighth for it. This compared to Verano's got like a reserve brand. They got an essence brand, which is a lower grade brand. And then they got shake or grind. But and then they have the Savvy brand, which is like the high supply for Cresco, and then the Savvy Uncensored, which is this. There's literally like $30 eighths right now at work. We sell weed super cheap at my work. Bud structure on this seems pretty damn nice though, right? For a $28 eighth. It doesn't look too frosty though. That's the thing. There's really not too much trichome coverage on here, but there's literally no leaf on this whole bud. And the way we grade weed over here in Chicagoland is the lowest grade is Garbaggio. Throw that shit straight in that fucking Garbaggio. And then we got that smokable weed, good enough to smoke, but not good enough to go out of your way to get. Then we got that certified smoke. We'll see what this is all about. This isn't too frosty at all. The eighth is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nugs, and the bud structure seems pretty nice on this on the way it looks, but there's still some leaf on it. I could see how they call it untrimmed now, because there's still some leaf on it. Look at those sugar leaves on it. And anyway, let's see what the bud structure is like, and let's see if we could smell some OG cushion here. And this is a great looking bud. You could tell the genetics are on point because look at how small the stem is, literally non-existent. They breed the stem out, and you could see how it correlates throughout the whole bud, or the stem just goes through the whole bud. Anyway, let's break it up. It seems, and we'll do a test, and then we'll get into some story time. I'll tell you guys a cool story, some old school stories about maybe when I used to sell weed back in the day. But let's break it up and get a bud structure score. Breaks up really well, actually. The breakup's really good on it. When I break it up, the OG Kush smell definitely comes out. Wow, OG Kush, and definitely smell limonene in here. That's probably the sour apple cross. There's definitely a lot of citrus, or a lot of because it's got a really sweet, sour taste smell to it, with the OG Kush, a little bit of the OG Kush remnants, a lot of OG Kush actually. I'm interested, really interesting terpene profile. On smell, I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. We'll try to think about what it reminds me of in a little bit, but bud structure wise, the break's pretty good on this. Breaks up really well. It's not too dense where it's a pain in the ass to break up, and it's not too fucking doesn't crumble like just crumble in your hands. It's that fine line of just perfect right in between. Let's do a stick test on it. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that sticky, but I would love to know what y'all are smoking on in the comments. Let's do a stick test, y'all. And is it sticky? Not even a little bit. And it's fresh as fuck too. But it looks like it's gonna be. Let's see what it tastes like. If this taste correlates and the high is on point, it's supposed to be a hybrid, but it's got OG Kush in it. It says it's an energetic hybrid with OG Kush in it, with the triple Kush in it. So sorry, but then we're gonna eat these fucking gummies, and then we'll start telling some stories. Today at work, we were giving away free joints for anybody who showed up in a costume. So we fucking ran out of joints. It was popping today at work. Anyway, these certified smokers, sweet apple crumble pie. Let's see what's fucking to it by Savvy. If you're part of the fucking squad, hit the thumbs up button. I don't know why. I guess that's what you're supposed to do. Let's see what's to it. Okay, let's see. Clean bong too. It's all right. Nothing distinguishing taste wise, but it's about the all right side. It's definitely on the smokable side. Tastes decent. The taste doesn't correlate completely, but there's definitely some remnants of the OG Kush in there, and you could taste a little bit of that sourness and that that limonene from the sour apple. So it's got a little bit of that fruitiness to it as well. But the smell in the air could be a lot more aromatic. It's not as aromatic. For example, the NF1 yesterday that I reviewed, that shit was on fucking point. Let's get into some story time. Bud structure. We're gonna give this a bud. The breakup on it is really good. It's I don't have too much bad things to say about it, except it could be a lot more frostier. It's pretty average. I'm gonna say it's on the high end smokable side. For $30 an eighth, you cannot go wrong with this quality. And taste wise, we're gonna give it a 6.9, 6.7 taste wise. And it's pretty average, pretty just average run of the day weed for $30 an eighth. Definitely worth it. Nothing to go out of your way and get. I'd probably put on the smokable side. Definitely not Garbaggio. Looks definitely pretty, right, guys? And the structure is all right. It's definitely trimmed really well. But let's eat some of these gummies and let me tell you guys about my fucking day, about a story time. If y'all don't know, I used to sell hella weed back in the day, and I'm really not that high yet. We're going to let this stuff kick in, and we'll give this stuff some taste scores and smell. It didn't correlate as much as I'd like. So we're going to say 6.8 on taste, 6.9, whatever, around there. And on effect, I honestly, I'm not that high yet, y'all. I'm not even that high. I don't even really feel it that much. And these fucking gummies are the Very Cherry Funnies by Nature's Grace and Well. It's the 50 milligram 1-to-1. So what that means, it's got in each gummy, there's 10. How many gummies are in here? I think they're 1-to-1. So what that means, there's an equal amount of CBD and an equal amount of THC in each gummy. This is by Nature's Grace. They're called the Funnies. Did you remember the other ones I opened up? The Arise hash drops. They look at how these are all sticky together and stuff. That's definitely not a good quality gummy. I would not certify this if I ate gummies. I'm not a big gummy person, but let's see if we can even taste the weed in here. It tastes good. Can't taste the weed in it. I noticed that about Nature's Grace edibles. Their seasonal caramel apple chocolate tastes like fucking candy, guys. Really white chocolate. All right, guys, let's get into stories. This tastes good, guys. This definitely tastes good. All right, 50 milligrams. All right, funny story. Let's go with the funny one. Anyway, if I used to move like 150 pounds of weed back in the day, about every week, but maybe every 2 weeks, to be honest, it would come in from Canada, go to North Carolina, and then they would drive it up to North Carolina to me. What up, everybody in the chat? We'll say what's up in a minute. And one of the crazy stories, my dumbass was so stupid back then that I grew up in the suburbs. I didn't think that people just rob each other like crazy in the suburbs like they do nowadays. Like, it's so obvious now that I think about it, but I was just fronting weed out to anybody. And one day I run out of weed because I was getting it from my guy in California, driving him to North Carolina, then driving it here. Then I'd run out, but all my customers from Chicago, I noticed every time I fucked with would be when I'd buy weed in Chicago. But then, so what I did was I called one of my friends up that was buying weed off of me. And he's like, yeah, I know a guy. He's like, if you buy this much, you'll get it for this price. You buy this much, you'll get it for this price. So me and my friend were like, all right, let's each put in 20 grand. We'll get 40 grand worth. We'll get them at like, I think it was like 3,300 a pop. We were going to sell them at $4 grand a pop. Just get rid of them like that. Just really quick flip. And I don't even remember how many it was going to be. 40 grand worth about. And we ended up thinking of a location we were going to meet at, and the location ended up being a double tree off of Milwaukee Avenue in on the way going south from fucking on the way to past Lake Cook Road or Dundee Road. And anyway, what happened was the person I was with the kid that I was with was setting me up. And I saw him pick up the phone and he's like, and I guess he's the guy on the phone was asking him, it seemed like he was asking him, does he have a gun? And I kind of get a weird feeling about this. But then I am like, I told him, don't pick up any phone calls on the way, and he still picked up a phone call. So then he's driving now. I have my friend with all the money in the car in a different car. So I didn't bring the money in that car. And so my friend had a truck. And what happened, I guess what he told the guy was no, he doesn't have a gun, which I didn't. And then he pulls all the way in the back of the DoubleTree. My friend was in a red pickup truck. And I didn't know when we parked into the back, out of nowhere, these cops run up and they start screaming at him. His name was, what was his name? Scott. I don't want to say his last name. His last name started, and then they started screaming his last name too. They're like, you get on the fucking ground, because he, I guess, has a terrible record too. And they were all screaming, where the fuck is it at? Where the fuck is it at? They were pretending like they were cops. I thought that they were cops at the time. I didn't know, because they're all in suits and shit. And then they're like, where's the fucking shit at? Where's the shit at? I just kept my mouth shut the whole time. They had my friend too. They got to his truck, pulled him out of the car as well, out of the truck, 40 grand in the car as well. They took the bag. They reached in the car, grabbed the bag, put it into their car, and then they like, do you have the cuff? One of them, they were so sloppy now that I think about it. They were so sloppy. One of the guys goes, you got the cuff? And the other guy got the cuffs. And then he's like, he handcuffs the guy that was driving me, that was setting us up, pretty much. That he handcuffed that guy. And he starts screaming at the guy like he was a cop, pretty much. And then he says to me and my friend, what was my friend that I was with in the truck's name? What was his name? Greg. He says, Greg, you two get in the fucking car and get the fuck out of here. The money took the bag, and we were driving off. We got the fuck out of there. We were driving off. As we were driving off, I'm like, fuck, our money's in the fucking bag. We just got fucked. We didn't know what to do. They had guns and shit. So even if they weren't cops, we would have still gotten robbed. So then what happened was, as we were driving off, my friend goes, guess what, dude? You're gonna fucking love me. He's like, he lifted up. He's like, I didn't put the fucking money in the bag. I had a bad feeling. So he kept the fucking money in like this little box in the back seat. So we didn't get fucking robbed. How crazy is that? He had the money on him the whole fucking time. So we never got robbed. But listen what ends up happening to me. I leave with my portion. The story doesn't end good. So then I leave with my portion of my money. It was in like a box, and I'm like, all right. And I find some random guy. I'm like at a restaurant. I'm like, here, I'll give you $100 if you drive me to my car. And my car was parked at fucking the dude who set me up's house. I didn't know he set me up at this time yet. I still think it might be the cops, that they just fucked up and they just let us go, and the cops were just trying to rob us, undercover cops, fake undercovers. I didn't really even know what the fuck was going on. I see my car, and then I didn't pull up right to the house because I thought it was kind of sketchy, so I had him drop me off far down the street. So then I slowly walk up down the street, and I see them next to my car and just trying to fuck with my locks on my car, trying to get into my car. Because in my head, now that I'm thinking about it, they realized, oh, fuck, the bag was empty. The might be in the trunk, maybe, maybe they're just hoping. And so then they start fucking with the truck. little, and then I still have, don't forget guys, I still have all that cash still on me. So I'm like, fuck, I can't go up there, they're gonna drop me, this and that. So then I stash the cash, I just stick around for like an hour and just leave for an hour and just start walking around randomly. I actually stashed the money on the side of some random house in a bush. I used to do this a lot back in the day. It's kind of weird now that I think about it. When you're selling weed like that, you have no choice sometimes. And so I would stash the money in some random bush, and then I still walked up there. The car was, then I saw that they were all gone and nobody was around. So I went running back and grabbed my money really quick, stuck it in my hoodie, and I start walking towards my car, towards the out of nowhere. I'm so stupid now that I think about it. I should have just kept the money there. And then out of nowhere, a car pulls up out of nowhere with the two dudes in it. They jump out and they fucking start shaking me down again. I throw the money on the ground, and I'm thinking in my head that they didn't see me throw the money on the ground like an idiot. Now they're still not looking back at it, and they have to me again, and then they see the money on the ground. Now that I'm looking back at it, I still had now that I there was 3 bundles of cash, 3 big bundles, and I had one. I threw 2 and I still had 1 in my pocket. I remember there was 2 big ones and 1 small one that was not big still, but just not as big. And then what happened was I threw the 2 bundles. They probably saw it now that I'm thinking back at it. And then they me, and then they're like, "Where the?" And then they just look at the money, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" So I'm running off like an asshole because they have guns too. Don't forget. So I run off. Then they end up getting my fucking money at the end of it, like an asshole. So, but anyway, I still had 1 little bundle on me, which was not shit. But they ended up getting the goddamn money. How crazy story, right, guys? And I got another one. You guys want to hear another one? I have so many that I've just been racking my brain. These are just little light ones too. If I decide to really open up on the internet, I got some shit for you guys. I got some shit. And what's up, Diamond Ninja? 2 quads of Georgia pie. CC, you paid like $34. Georgia pie is trash, yo. What are you talking? Georgia pie maybe by Ozone is trash. The one by fucking Revolution is a certified. Put a screen in my bowl and it just tastes like hash hits. Why are you putting screens in your bowl? This isn't 1985, Doom. Haha, savage. CC, you smoked the flower of Frost Donkey. That blueberry clementine are the strains. Diamond Ninja. I like Revolution Frost Donkey. Be it Back Cross 1. Ozo. I smoked the flower. Whatever. All right, guys. Anyway. You guys want to hear another story? It's kind of a funny one. Funny story. All right. It's about me. I was selling around the same time when I was still selling crazy amounts of weed at the time. So much that I was just running around like a rag doll. And I wasn't living a healthy life. And not to mention, I was really young. I was getting fucked up a lot too at the time. So I was completely knocked out one night. I came home. This is how crazy it got, guys. With this point, I had 30 pounds of weed in my trunk. That was just a normal thing, and I just was like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna get it out of the car. I'm just gonna leave it in the car. I don't feel like even carrying it in the house today." And I was living out of hotel rooms at this time as well, so I went to my parents' house. And I parked behind my mom's car. And mama said, and then the next morning, my mom wakes me up. She's like, "Move the car. I gotta go grocery shopping. And I'm like, I'm just ignored her. I was getting fucked up every day. I just ignored her. And then all of a sudden, an hour or 2 later, I get up and just walk outside. My fucking car is gone, and so is my mom. My mom drove off with 30 pounds of weed in the back of the fucking trunk. to go grocery shopping in my goddamn keys in my car, guys. Now that I look back at it, holy fuck. I didn't even register it back then. And then so my car was fucking missing. And then little did I know, I'm like, holy shit, if she finds out, she's gonna flip. And all of a sudden, I get a fucking call on my phone. She went to go put groceries into the trunk of the car, starts and just calls me crying, screaming, saying, I'm throwing it in not swearing, it's my mom, obviously. I'm throwing it in the garbage. I'm like, just leave the car there and walk away, or call. And it was before Uber too, so I'm just leave and I'll come pick you up. And so I just came and picked her up in her car. She was threatening to throw it away into the and I owed money for it and shit at the time. It was those were crazy times. Yeah, but that's one of the few times, but that's one of just the funny story. I've got some terrifying shit too that I could tell you guys about. But that's a light one. It's a long freaking video. If you guys like the story times, let me know if you guys actually give a fuck about this kind of stuff. If you would like usually sit around and want to hear me talk about old school back in the day. And I could get into the crazy shit too, but I just gotta decide on whether it's a good idea. But we can still keep it light and still have a good time if you consider this light. Anyway, we'll give this shit a smokable rating, a final score of 6.5, 6.5, 6.8, 6.8. Let's get 6.8. Nothing good, nothing going to go out of your way to go get. It's a good high. It's nothing bad. Just generic, really decent weed for $38 an eighth. This is about what you should deserve to get. Anyway, peace the fuck out. I love y'all. See y'all soon. See you in the comments. Let me know if you guys have any questions or want me to review anything. And tell your fucking mailmans, dog sitters, fucking dentists to subscribe. Peace. So we got to grow our community. So the more power we have with the cultivators, y'all.